People often think silence is weakness. They think silence means you have no answer, no courage, or nothing to say. But the truth is, silence is one of the greatest powers a human being can have. Today's story will make you see silence differently. In the heart of old Chicago during the 1920s, there lived a boy named Michael Rivera. He was 17, tall but shy, and had a voice so soft that most people barely heard him when he spoke. At school, other boys laughed at him. "Why don't you speak louder?" they mocked. "You'll never be a leader if you can't even raise your voice." Michael's silence made him the subject of jokes. Teachers thought he lacked confidence. Even his own relatives whispered that he was too quiet to survive in a noisy, ambitious city. But what no one knew was that Michael's silence was not weakness. It was his hidden superpower. One day, Michael got a small job at a mechanic's workshop near the Chicago rail lines. The owner, Mr. Harrison, was loud, strict, and always barking orders at workers. Most employees hated him, but Michael quietly observed everything: how engines worked, how workers reacted, how mistakes happened. He didn't argue. He didn't complain. He just watched, listened, and learned. Over time, Michael noticed something strange. The workers who argued back at Mr. Harrison often got fired. The ones who shouted their opinions loudly often made mistakes because they weren't paying attention. But Michael, with his quiet observation, began to solve problems others couldn't. One stormy evening, a train engine broke down just outside Chicago. It was loaded with goods that had to reach the market by dawn. The mechanics panicked. Fixing such a machine in a short time seemed impossible. Everyone started shouting ideas at once. "Replace the cylinder." "No, fix the pistons first." "Shut it down completely. It can't be repaired tonight." The noise grew louder and louder. But Michael stood silently, staring at the engine. He didn't speak. He didn't argue. He simply walked around the machine, touching each part carefully. Then quietly, he whispered to Mr. Harrison, "The problem isn't the piston. It's the fuel line. It's clogged." First, no one heard him. But when he calmly repeated it, Harrison finally ordered the team to check. And Michael was right. In less than 2 hours, the engine was running again. That night, Mr. Harrison looked at Michael and said something he would never forget. "You listen more than you talk. That's why you see what others miss." From that day on, Michael's life began to change. The workshop no longer saw him as the quiet boy. They saw him as the one who solved problems nobody else could. He wasn't the loudest voice in the room, but he was the one people turned to when things went wrong. Years later, when he became an engineer, people would often ask him the secret of his success. And he would simply smile and say, "Silence." Because when you are silent, you hear what others ignore. You see, silence is not emptiness. Silence is awareness. When you are silent, you learn to notice small details that noise covers. Think before reacting. Understand people better by watching, not arguing. Gather wisdom while others waste energy trying to prove themselves. The world believes power comes from speaking louder, arguing harder, and showing off. But the greatest leaders, thinkers, and visionaries in history understood the power of silence. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt." Silence gives you control, not over others but over yourself. The moral: Michael's story is a reminder for all of us. When people mock your silence, let them. When the world tries to pull you into noise, step back. Because silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. Silence is focus. Silence is your superpower. So the next time you feel pressured to speak, remember, silence can be louder than words. Your actions, your wisdom, your calmness, they will speak for you. And when you master silence, you won't just win arguments. You'll win life.